Good evening. This is the Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting for January 25th, 2022. We're going to call this meeting to order. I'm going to call the roll. Following that, we'll have the invocation by Alderman Barnhill, and tonight Alderman Gabrielle Hanson will be leading the Pledge of Allegiance for us. So, Alderman Barnhill.
Present.
Vice Mayor Blanton.
Here.
Alderman Hanson.
Here.
Alderman Peterson.
Here.
Alderman Berger.
Present.
Alderman Brown.
Present.
Alderman Potts.
Present.
Alderman Baggett.
Present.
And the mayor is here too. So everybody's present. So if you'll stand with me and Alderman Barnhill.
Would you bow, please? Heavenly Father, again tonight, we come to you in prayer, thanking you for this great nation that we have. We know that we're truly a blessed nation. We give you thanks for these blessings. But we also ask your blessings upon those who defend our freedoms, who go into foreign countries, whether they're soldiers or other personnel. We also ask blessings upon our first responders. We know that they're under extreme pressure lately due to the COVID panics and all the other things that they have to go through. We ask your blessings upon them and their families. We ask your blessings upon us as aldermen as we make decisions that affect the direction which the city will go. Give us spiritual wisdom and guidance. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next item on the agenda is an opportunity for citizens to make comments for items that are not on the agenda. Our routine is there's a speaker card at the center post there, and you fill that out and let us know you're interested in speaking. Given the sparseness of the crowd tonight, I don't think there's going to be anybody speaking. So we'll go on to communications from the Williamson County Commission. I have none. We'll go on to the minutes of the January 11th work session and Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting, and I would entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Thank you, Alderman Peterson. Second by Alderman Barnhill. Any discussion? Any additions or corrections? Seeing none, let's vote. Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Hanson.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Alderman Potts.
Yes.
Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Are there any recognitions tonight? Any miscellaneous reports?
I just would like to make the note that we have moved the African American Heritage Society's Black Tie Affair. It has moved from February 5th to March 12th to really give some space for what we're experiencing right now. And I will also note, what's that?
It's sold out.
Well, it is sold out, and we actually are looking, we probably will have to make some limitations in numbers. And so, yes, that's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. So anyway, thank you for the opportunity to mention that.
Thank you. Mr. Stuckey.
Just one quick thing. It was noted in our work session, but we do have a special work session planned for this Saturday morning. We're going to do a mobile kind of work session, workshop, where we're going to tour kind of the northern portion of our city and look at capital investment projects, look at some development projects and trends, and just give the board a chance together to go out and about and see some things. So we'll be planning a second one of these a little later to capture the southern half of the city, but we will be doing that from around 9 a.m. to no later than noon on Saturday. So just wanted to make everybody aware that's a little out of our norm in terms of our meeting schedule and the format.
And meeting location will be here at City Hall.
We'll meet here and then go on the large Franklin Transit trolley around the community.
Over here on this side?
Meet in the boardroom, we'll convene and go out.
Okay.
And we'll probably catch the trolley right up there.
Wait, Nicole.
Yeah.
Okay, we look forward to
Is
that.
that a bring your own coffee thing too?
We'll probably have a little coffee.
Next is the consent agenda. All items under the consent agenda deemed to be non-controversial and routine in nature by the governing body that we approve as recommended by committee or staff by one motion of the governing body. Tonight, we're looking at items number 10 through 20. Thank you. Second, Vice Mayor, thank you. Seconded by Alderman Brown. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Hanson.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Alderman Potts. And Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Item number 3 is Resolution 2021-92, a resolution to rescind resolution establishing Liberty Hills Pond as a regional stormwater detention facility.
I'll move for disapproval.
Second.
Appropriate motion, seconded by the Vice Mayor.
Now,
Any discussion?
Yeah. I thought we
You
were
wanna-
looking to defer that rather than disapprove that.
No, we need to keep it in place is the intention.
Yeah, you-
Otherwise, they
yeah.
lose their,
So I thought the discussion was to defer.
Bring us back.
I thought it was to study it further
Yeah.
and come back.
Yeah.
You, can
I'm
I ask the
gonna offer
attorney?
an amendment to defer
Well,
this item for whatever
Can I-
length of time we think it needs to be in the engineering department, and somebody
Before-
needs to speak up.
before
You're
we-
looking at a month?
before we do that, can I have a point of order? Point of order. From the attorney, what is the best procedure to do this? Because
Donna needs it.
this particular one is totally rescinding it, which, that's going to take on that's going to be a whole different animal once we get through with it. I mean, it's going to have to come back in a different resolution of some sort, unless we bring the identical resolution back. Wouldn't think this resolution is something we want to keep in play. We would want a different resolution from the outcome of our meetings and coming back to our work sessions.
I mean, you could do it either way.
Yeah.
My thought would be, go ahead and defer this, one, so it's, you kind of keep it on the agenda, and we are reminded of it. But if after you get the study, you want to either disapprove the whole rescission, or if you want to amend it, or something else, I assume that we're going to take this back to a work session before we even vote on it. So if you're going to defer it, I would defer it to a work session somewhere out in the future. I don't think a month. I don't even think 2 months, and it's cold. I'm not sure if, how we can study it. Right, we don't even have an agreement on who we would use and how we would pay for it. So you're looking at a few months, but I would suggest deferring it rather than disapproving it at this point. But
You have to set a date, we have to set a date.
When you
Yeah.
defer,
You
you need a
would,
date
yes.
certain.
You better set it way out.
I don't know about
Okay.
time. Do you have a sense of that,
Yeah.
Vernon?
Thank you, and concur with Sean. I did talk to Paul. I think for the sake of, if you concur to leave it on the agenda so we can have conversation, the first meeting in April would be appropriate. And that way, we can have the dialogue and per the guidance you provided with the HOA and come back. And we'll be back to you with an agreement to how we'll proceed with that. So the first meeting is in April is April the 12th, if that works for you all. Thank you.
Add April the 12th to my deferral.
Okay, we have an amendment to the original motion to defer until April the 12th. Is there a second to the amendment?
second.
Appropriate motion by the Vice Mayor, seconded by the Vice Mayor. Now, we're discussing the amendment to the original motion, which is to defer to April 12th, 2022, and then bring the item back. Pending additional, I don't want to put words in your mouth, Alderman Barnhill, but is your understanding that this
Yeah.
timeframe is to offer some additional study, as was
Some
discussed?
additional meetings with the HOA, some additional meetings with staff, some additional meetings to work out whether or not we want to determine what the use of the pond is, and whether we want to keep it as a retention pond, whether we want to
There's
take
not
over the
enough time to
maintenance
do all
of it.
that,
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah, is that
Well,
enough time?
What
Yeah.
I want to clarify, the April 12th is a work session deferral to work session. I think realistically, you may have your study underway, you may have some scope. I don't know that you're going to have everything worked out, but I think it's a good check-in to see where we are and get some more guidance from the board. It'll at least give us a chance to have the dialogue with the HOA. What's the scope of service? Hopefully, we have started that work. and can give you at a minimum, an update if we've come to some other, consensus points or understandings. We can share that with you then. I think it gives us a check-in time, if nothing else, and gives us something to work towards.
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, Alderman Potts.
From a parliamentary procedure, Alderman Berger has submitted a motion to remove, and Alderman Barnhill has submitted an amendment to her motion. The best thing to do, I believe, if Shauna will correct me, is to withdraw the motion for removal and to keep a new motion for deferral.
Well, when you move to defer, it trumps all other motions on the table.
Correct.
Okay, just wanted to.
Any other questions or comments
Yeah,
about
one-
the amendment?
Would this have to, yeah, but to defer it, again, want to make sure that the study costs money. And I don't think we got to a point, I don't want to, right, or are we just doing an internal study? Because
No, I think we're going to be contracting
Internally.
with an outside
Outside,
entity to
too.
help us do this study. I don't think this is something that staff alone would
yeah, I
perform.
think that's
Yeah,
correct. So I don't want to wait
So you
4
could have
months.
the study started before then, depending on how we progress. But this at least gives us something to give you an update on where we are.
Would
at that
waiting
point.
till April further delay this? I mean.
We're not going to stop, we're not going to not do anything till April.
Oh, understood, but I
So-
mean.
And we may bring a contract forward for
Before then.
The study work before then.
Okay, good.
That's not going to hold us up
Okay.
from doing
Yeah,
it.
that was the whole deal,
Yeah.
would we, yeah.
Yeah, and I want to reiterate that there has been work done, but the first piece is meeting with the HOA because we want to have a third party validate where we're going to hopefully end up and the options that we're looking at. And that will involve a consultant, professional engineer to help us do that, and likely a professional services agreement.
Okay.
But we've got to talk through that first. But this simply keeps this resolution on the radar on that work session in April.
Okay, I want to clarify that you're okay with your amendment with, just as Mr. Girth described.
Yep.
And your second?
Sure.
And it's the
Perfect.
work session.
Any other, yes, to the work session. Any other discussion on the amendment? Alderman Berger.
I heard that we need to leave it on the agenda so we can dialogue. I thought we could dialogue without it being on the agenda. I'm confused. Is that correct? Am I correct on that? It doesn't need to be on the agenda in order to still dialogue and move ahead, correct?
That's right.
All
I
right.
mean, it could totally go on.
All right. So I thought we were, I thought we could work this out in dialogue without the resolution, okay, without it still being in play, because if we keep this resolution in play, this is why I'm not going to support this amendment. If we keep this resolution in play, I'm confused. Because I heard on this board tonight at the work session that we were not interested, we were interested in rescinding it. We were not interested in totally outright getting rid of it 100%. Because this resolution totally dissolves any relationship. I thought that's what we were talking about. I thought that's what I heard at the work session, that we didn't like that resolution because it totally did away with it, over, one and done. So that's why I think it should be taken off. I think we need a new resolution to come back. And you just said, Shauna, that we don't need to leave it on the agenda to move ahead. So I can't support the amendment for that reason.
Alderman Brown.
Makes no
Yeah,
sense.
I would just say, I get that the deferral still gives us a chance to have any number of options and discussions and all of that. Personally, I just can't, especially after that conversation, I'm in agreement with Alderman Berger. I can't imagine a scenario where we would take that resolution exactly as it's written. And to me, I feel like clear it and let's do the study, and then whatever resolution comes forward, my guess is even if we decided to take it out of its current state, it's going to have some.
Sure.
Just from the commentary, I got to believe there's going to be some different language in that than what's on there today. So I'd rather clean the slate and come back, but that's my 2 cents.
Mayor, You know, I know we probably mean well on this. You leave that on there because you don't know necessarily, that could be a legitimate item. Well, you could go back to the HOA and they could say, hey, you know what? Here's the options we'll give. If it's a dredging, we'll maintain it. We'll dissolve ourselves of the resolution and the city's commitment for 15 years. We'll take care of that. There's options that you do that you have when you leave that on there. Besides that, my amendment to defer takes precedent over your amendment to rescind the resolution. Actually, you voted to not rescind the resolution is what your motion was. So, I mean, I see nothing wrong with leaving it on there. It leaves it, it's there for viewing, it's there as a starting point, it's there as a talking point, and we're gonna go back in 2 months, January, February, March, April, we're gonna go back in 2 or 3 months and revisit this right here, so.
Oh, I want to make clear that what you just said, Bev, you can be for solving the problem and helping the HOA, and also in favor of not having this same
Exactly.
agreement with the HOA long-term, that as the possible outcome. So I don't want there to be any misunderstanding that
No.
before not having this long-term this agreement in place at the end of all of this, and still finding a solution with the HOA.
Yeah.
Those aren't mutually exclusive.
No,
We always have a conflict.
well,
Other
I will
comments or
I
questions
will
about
disag-
the amendment?
yeah, I'll disagree with that amendment because I don't think that, unless, there actually was no, and Clyde, in all due respect, we will disagree with this, but that's not what the resolution said. There were no options in the resolution. It was cut and dried. Do away with the resolution, correct? Okay. So there was no options in that resolution. It was do away with the relationship, period. One and done. So there were no options in there. So anyway, that's fine.
Any other comments on the amendment? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanton.
Not to confuse the matter, but I'm gonna vote no, because I understand Matt's point. I don't wanna, yeah.
Alderman Hanson. We're voting on the amendment to defer till April the 12th.
No.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
No.
Alderman Brown.
No.
Alderman Potts.
No.
And Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
The amendment fails 5-3. So we'll now go back to the original motion, which was to, if you want to restate that again,
Rescind.
to rescind
well,
Resolution
Disapprove.
2021.
Well, actually, the way it was written here, at the bottom, it said they recommend approval. I recommend disapproval. Is that correct? Is that a correct? All right.
Okay,
I
so,
recommend
Disapproving
disapproval
that.
of the resolution.
and let's see, who had seconded
To
that
remove it.
original? Are
Pardon?
you, Vice Mayor, you still good with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any comments on the Alderman Berger's motion? Go ahead, Alderman Berger.
Point of order, Shawnee, we're sort of like that.
Fine.
Did I state that correctly?
Right, so the motion is
Yeah.
to disapprove
The resolution.
the
resolution.
resolution to rescind the previous
Yes.
resolution.
Yes,
That is your
correct.
motion.
Correct. Okay, just want to make sure.
Everybody clear on it? Alderman Barnhill?
Thank you.
But we still continue
Yes,
on the track.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So where is their
We got a lot of work to
incentive
do.
then to negotiate on this?
There is.
When we're rescinding the resolution to rescind,
Doesn't,
what is?
doesn't
where is-
prohibit us from
Where
doing
is
it.
their,
Well, it's just, we hope they'll work with us.
yeah,
yeah.
oh, they will.
Having the other in place would have given us a
And that,
little better
if you
negotiating.
left this in
No.
place, you had that portion
You
of
can always
it.
bring it back.
Always bring it
Well,
back.
Always bring it back.
You didn't help the negotiation.
I,
Oh, yeah.
if I could, Mayor,
Please.
I would say the incentive, Alderman, is the guidance that you provided staff is to work with them, and if they don't want to work with us, well, we'll report back accordingly, but we know that's not
Yes.
likely.
You know,
So
it- yeah.
you've
You're
tasked
good
us
faith.
with
You're
something,
good
and we're going to come back with you to the best of our ability with
Didn't go through all that.
hopefully a solution or a couple options for you all to consider.
Yeah, it's likely to be different. I don't know what it'll be. It's changed just in the last 2 weeks. So we'll work through it and bring back something to you. There's likely to be some study, and we'll probably work pretty similar towards the time frame that was in the previous motion. I think that just kind of makes some sense.
Yeah.
But we'll work on it and bring it back.
Yeah. I just want to say, they didn't go through all that not to work with us. No. they
Okay,
did
you
not.
ready to vote?
What
Yeah.
Mayor Holders, I
Yeah.
want to make sure that we need to also look at this, at the broader picture of what this does to the other 16 lakes and ponds and whatever it is. Because once we remove this or rescind
is
this,
not-
or technically agree to the agreement, original agreement, then we've got an issue with 15 other ponds also. Oh, yes, absolutely. I promise you that you will not do something for one that you will not do for another. So if there's another HOA comes through that back door back there, you're gonna be telling them the same thing. We don't have an agreement. Well, you didn't have an agreement technically with the other group either, because you've rescinded the resolution to rescind. And I'm not sure how much of an agreement you had on the other, because when it says you may and you may, and it's an agreement for an easement to do maintenance that is to be determined by City Hall, I'm not sure, that's not particularly a very binding agreement, so, but anyway, we can go with this, that's fine. I'm interested to see how this works out. I may be below my HOA fees.
Not in your life.
Okay, you ready to vote? We're going to start from the bottom of the list. Alderman Baggett.
So,
This is to disapprove Resolution 2021-92.
Yes, because I think it'll be rewritten, but I wish we were deferred. Yes.
Alderman Potts,
yes.
Alderman Brown,
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson,
Yes.
Alderman Hanson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanton.
Yes.
And Alderman
And I
Barnhill.
agree with Alderman Baggett. I think this will be tremendously rewritten, so I agree.
Item 4, Resolution 2022-05, a resolution approving the continuation of COVID pay for the City of Franklin employees January 1st, 2022 through February 28th, 2022, and replacing Resolution 2021-185. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman Potts. Is there a
Second.
second? Thank you, Alderman Hanson. Any discussion? Mr.
Just real
Stuckey.
quickly, let me just summarize what we're doing here. We're restating what you passed 2 weeks ago to just allow a little additional authority to grant COVID sick leave pay in certain situations where we may be requiring isolation pending results of testing. It doesn't apply in every situation, but it might help us in certain scenarios, and it would just give the administration some ability to work with that, because the way it was originally written was only for those who had tested positive. We may have certain situations where we want to keep people out of a workplace to not have additional spread pending test results, if that makes sense. So this just gives us a little more flexibility.
Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill,
Yes.
Alderman Vice Mayor Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Hanson,
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Alderman Potts.
Yes.
And Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Thank you. Passes unanimously. Item number 5 is consideration of Amendment 2 to the City of Franklin Contract 2019-0091, Professional Services Agreement with CDM Smith for the Robinson Lake Dam rehabilitation at a cost increase not to exceed $126,950. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Baggett. Any discussion? I think since Alderman Baggett was the second, I'm going to start at the
At the
bottom of the list. I have to have another term for that.
The bottom of Franklin is a great place to be.
Alderman Baggett, how do you
Yes.
vote?
Yes.
And Alderman Potts.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Hanson.
Yes.
And Vice Mayor Blanton.
Yes.
And Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Those were last.
Item 6 is consideration of Amendment 1 to City of Franklin Contract 2017-0034, local agency project agreement with Tennessee Department of Transportation for McEwen Drive from east to Cool Springs Boulevard, Oxford Glen Drive to State Route 252 Wilson Pike to replace Exhibit A and to extend the project completion date. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Thank
Second.
you, Alderman Brown. Thank you for the second there, Alderman Berger. Any discussion? Ready to vote. We'll start in the middle. Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Alderman Hanson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Potts.
Yes.
And Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Item number 7, this is a resolution 2022-04, resolution acknowledging the letter of agreement between the Tennessee Main Street Program and the Downtown Franklin Association. Is there a motion?
Move
Motion
for
to,
approve. Go ahead.
go
Go ahead.
ahead. Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Brown. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Starting at the top, aren't you?
You never know what I'm going to do.
Yes.
Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Oh, good. Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Alderman, Vice Mayor Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Potts.
Yes.
Alderman Hanson.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Next is consideration procurement award to 3C's Lawn Care of Madison, Tennessee, in the total estimated annual amount of $334,980 for mowing and related contract services for certain city parks and certain other city-owned properties for a term of award for the Parks Department, $247,000 budgeted in FY 2022. Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Potts. Any discussion? All right. Alderman Baggett, how do you vote?
Yes.
Alderman Potts.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Hanson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. And then number 9 is consideration resolution 2021-188, a resolution to adopt budget goals for FY 2022-23. Finance Committee approved it unanimously. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Any discussion? Ready to vote? We're going to vote with the Bs first. Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanton.
Yes.
And Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
And Alderman Hanson.
Yes.
And then Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Then Alderman Potts.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Did I miss anybody? I'll now entertain a motion that is a favorite.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor say it.
Adjourn.
Thank you.
All in favor say aye.
Who used to do
Y'all are very entertaining. Thanks for not making me vote.
that? Yeah.